Hi everyone, hope everyone's doing well. Menards is a home improvement store, much like Home Depot or Lowe's. It's one of my favorite ones I go to a lot, mainly because it has a drive-in lumber yard. But there's also, I like it because there's lots of places that you can save money. Their slogan being, you save big money at Menards. But there's places where you could save money, and I'm calling these hacks, but they're more like Easter eggs or gems. They're items that you can purchase that are not obvious and not very not even advertised in the stores, but you can save money. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about is these hacks. They're not seasonal, they're not promotions, they're not 11% rebates or the brown bag sales. Anything you can fit in the bag you get a discount on. I'm talking about all year round, these little gems, these little Easter eggs that are hidden throughout the store where you could save money on certain items. So let's get started. Any of you who are familiar with Menards know that they have two different places to find dimensional lumber. There's the indoor lumber area and the outdoor or the drive-in lumber yard. The indoor has more of the hobby type wood and the smaller dimensional lumber, especially the 1x stuff. The outdoor has the larger stuff and all the treated stuff. So in the indoor lumber area, the shelving area, at the end of the shelving area toward the far wall, there is a place for scrap wood that they sell at a complete discount, just pennies. And I'm oftentimes needing 1x4 scraps for like drywall cleating for drywall repairs, or just any kind of cleating or bracing or things like that. This is a great place to buy it. Now, a lot of times I'll have that scrap at my house, but if I'm out and I don't want to pay money for full, 6-foot or 8-foot pieces of dimensional lumber, and I just need something 3-foot or under, this is a great area to find something real cheap to get the project done. Oftentimes I need to use plywood or pegboard or I need to buy things like that. But most of the time I don't want to pay, I don't need a perfect piece. Meaning, like last week I had to build a bed frame for my son, and we just needed a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood for the bed frame. And it needed to be about 38 by 80 inches. And so I needed to buy a 4x8 sheet. Well, 4x8 sheet of 3/4 inch plywood is about $30. You need to do that if you're doing building a subfloor in a new construction. But if you're just doing things like a bunk bed platform or you're just a scrap or a piece that's going to fit in to fix a piece of subfloor like under a shower or something like that, you don't need a perfect 4x8 piece. Oftentimes you just need kind of a scrap piece. What I noticed is if you go back by the molding section, in other words, in the back of my Menards, they have these vertical racks of these 16 and 12-foot and 16-foot moldings like baseboard and crown moldings. So back by the wall near the moldings, there is a clearance rack of sheathing and panels where you can find 3/4 inch plywood or maybe chipboard or OSB. You could also find pegboard and other types of panels and pieces of cheap molding. Now, they're all damaged in some kind of way. A lot of times it's like the corners are kind of chipped off, so they can't sell it as a full piece. But oftentimes that's just fine because you're going to cut it down anyway. And you could see by some of the prices here, and I don't show them very quick. I'm sorry for the camera work here. I was doing it kind of quickly. But for example, if you could find a decent sheet of 4x8 plywood, even 3/4 inch, you can get it for about $13 versus $30. So I could save you a lot of money. And then on the crown moldings and baseboard moldings, if you only need a little bit of a scrap piece, you can cut off the stuff that's bad. You could save a lot of money by buying it in the clearance rack. Okay, so this next hack is about screws and nails. And unfortunately I don't have a good video of it in the store because I screwed up with my camera and I turned it off when I thought I was starting the recording. We've all been there, I think. So I do have a snapshot of what I saw in the store, and I'll flash that up here. But so if you go to, every Menards has a aisle that has boxed screws and nails. Decking screws, drywall screws, galvanized nails for flashing and for roofing and all that stuff. On that aisle, closest to the end cap, where they, usually they have aisles where the end cap on the aisle is facing the larger aisle where there's more traffic. So in my store, the screw and hardware aisle ends at a main kind of thoroughfare through the store, and there's an end cap there. Right behind that and on the bottom shelf, there are these, and I showed you the picture of it, these junk screws. They sell, the price on it, you can see in the picture, was $3.99, and it's basically like one of these big old jars, plastic jars full of just random stuff. And I guess maybe they just, I don't know, if they drop a pallet or something, they sweep up the floor in the back room and they just put them in these boxes. I don't know why they have these, but they have them. They still have them at my store. This is one I bought several weeks ago, and you can see I've used a bunch of it. And what it is, it's just random screws. A lot of it's really nice, like the coated decking screws. So you've got these Star Drive, oops, put them in the camera here. Star Drive coated decking screws, drywall screws, some galvanized nails, some real specialty long screws. Like I said, drywall. There's a few, even, I don't know if you can see it, but even some roofing, those metal roof screws, all sorts of stuff in here. $4. Now, do I recommend you buy these just to save money on screws? No. If I'm going to do a drywall job or I'm going to build a deck, I'm going to buy a box of the screws that I need. But why you should at least have one of these in your truck or in your trailer at all times is because, well, two reasons really. One is if you're doing a job like drywall and you buy, 1.25" drywall, boxes of drywall screws, and you go to do the job, and let's say you just run out, you just need 4 more or whatever. You've got this in your truck, you could just grab them, sift through it, grab them, and so you don't need to go all the way back to the store. But for most part, again, for repair work, I'm not doing, decks and remodels for the most part. I'm doing repair. I'll need a screw or something. I'll need a nail, a galvanized siding nail that I'm just, to just fix one thing that I saw at the customer's house. Or I need to screw in a strap for the, a strap was missing on some of their pipes, and I want to screw that in. I've always got just a box of random screws available to me. So again, it's not good for using on a job because there's square heads, there's star heads, Phillips heads, random sizes and stuff like that. So I don't want to be rummaging through here all the time, but it's great to have as a backup in your truck or in your trailer. And finally, hack number 4 is drywall patches. Many of you may not know this, but you can find scrap pieces of drywall, and it's organized well on the back wall. When you go to the back wall section, again, over by lumber and all that, where you see the drywall compounds and stuff, you'll see a rack of clearance drywall patches. I mean, 2x2, 2x4, 4x4, 89 cents for a 2x2 all day long. If I do small drywall repair, that's what I'm going to get. I can fit it in my car. I don't even need it to bring a truck over there. And so that's just the greatest thing, to get patch panels for drywall. Well, that's the end of the hacks, but I will say that there's a lot of clearance racks all around Menards, and I always try to go by the one that has the tools in it in one of the main aisles here. And I always try to see if there's a good deal, because, who can't pass up a good deal on tools? So a Bosch hole saw caught my eye, $37 on clearance. I wonder what that really costs. Well, on Amazon I can get it for $43, so $6 off. That's not bad. Most of the time I never buy these tools. Another thing that caught my eye, for example, is this Bosch 18-volt brushless drill. $200, $199 there. Well, how much could I get that for? On Amazon it's $196, so you're actually not saving any money on that. So these clearance racks, they're always kind of a crapshoot. I always shop at them, but I don't think I've ever bought anything from them. Like I said, those 4 hacks that I do, you can never lose. But There are other clearance, sometimes they have really good sales when they can't sell some stock, and sometimes they just mark it down just a little bit and it's just not worth it. So your mileage may vary, but hope you liked this video, and I hope it made you a better shopper at Menards and to ultimately save big money. Thanks for watching.